Hello guys, welcome to another video, and you're probably asking what the freak am I looking at right here. Well, this is not an ROR video, but this is a tutorial video on how to import stuff from ROR into Blender for yeah, if you want to edit or something like that. So you're gonna need Blender 2.79b, and you're also gonna need the two plugins that I have in the description. Do not extract the zips when it comes to those two plugins. Just leave them in a zip. You'll be fine. Just leave them. So once you download all three and you installed Blender, you're going to go right here in Blender and you're going to go to File, User Preferences. You're going to go to Install Add-on from File, and you're going to go to where your downloads folder is, and then you're going to click on one of the zip files that you downloaded. Then you're going to click Install Add-on from File, and then you're going to do the same thing for the other zip file thing. Once that's done, I click cancel, but you go ahead and click add install for file or something. You're gonna try to look for these two things to check: the Ogre exporter .scene, .mesh, .skeleton, and real10.txml. And you're also gonna check the import export torchlight mesh format. Once those two are checked, you can click save user settings, and you can go ahead and close the window. Now that's installed, you are able to import your bus or whatever you want to work on. First thing I do is I recommend going to Documents and creating a new folder there, and you just name it Blender Exports or something like that. I have it named CE because I was originally gonna import JSON CE into Blender, but now that I think about it, I think I'll do my Photon RE rather than Touch's stuff. So we're going to do the Photon RE. We're going to pretend that we want to import the RE in game. So once you find out which bus you want to do, you want to select every DDS file, every JPG file, every material file, and every PNG file. And once all of those are selected, or you don't have to select them, you can just click and drag them all out. But the files that you really do need are DDS, JPG, all the materials, and the PNGs, because we don't want to waste our time trying to look through each and every one and seeing what we need. So yeah, so let's say I wanted to edit 584. So I will open 584's truck file. I would scroll all the way down to where I can see the prop section, and you'd find the body file, because in my case I'm editing the body, but you might want to edit something else like the monitor or the CB radio. In this case, the body file will be photonre.mesh. So after you find the file that you want to edit, you go back out and you look for the mesh file corresponding to the one in the truck file. In this case, it's photonre. You're going to click that, and you're going to drag that over to the new folder that you created and put all the resources that you need in there. Now what you're going to do is take the mesh and run it over the mesh upgrader, and then after you do that, you're going to take the same mesh when that thing is done, and you're going to drag it over to XML converter. You're going to let it do its thing. Sometimes it varies on the size of the mesh file. So if it's big, it may take a little bit longer. If it's small, it'll be just done in 1 second like that. But it depends on what type, how big that file is. Also, another rule of thumb that I would be giving is that you want to make sure that your mesh file, no, you want to make sure that your material file is the same as the mesh. So that being said, since I'm editing a body file, I want to go where I want to name a material file the same thing as the body. So you would find the material file that has the same stuff that gives the body its texture. In this case is photon re dot material. Since they're the same name as in photon re and then the mesh file is photon re, I don't have to do anything. But in your case, if it's different, you may want to change that material name to the mesh name to avoid confliction. So once you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and go back into Blender. You're going to go to File, Import, and then Torchlight Ogre. If Torchlight Ogre is not there for you, then that means you did something wrong in user preferences. And I recommend going back and taking a look at that. So you're going to go click Torchlight Ogre, and it should bring you to your documents. So you're going to find that thing that, remember when I told you to make a new folder and put all that stuff you need in there? Go to that folder. For this instance, I have it named CE because when I was working on the UFNCE pack, that's what I named the folder, and that's what I put in there every time I needed to import a mesh from ROR to Blender. So you're going to go to CE, you're going to click the mesh one time, and you're going to click import. Now the time that it imports, it ranges on a scale depending on how big the mesh file is. So if it's really big, it may take over maybe 10-15 minutes, but if it's randomly small like this 5 megabyte thing, it should take nothing but a few seconds or up to a minute at least. So we're going to wait until this thing is imported. And then once it's done and importing, you should get a whole lot of this. So you should be seeing the textures and stuff and all that. Press A to deselect all, and you can see that all the textures that have imported. The only textures that will not import is if you have maybe flare bindings. That's what I have here. I don't know why this imported, but oh, it's because I have a separate file for that. But normally if it's a flare binding, you know, it will show up as white. That's okay. As long as you get the bus in, that's fine. And also the Windows stuff should also be somewhat black, because these windows and stuff are not listed in the material file. If it was in the material file, it would show up, but since it's listed in a truck file, then that's why it's not really letting us see through. So you want to press Z twice, and then there you go. That's how you import a bus. If you want to make the texture show on it, you press N. Then you scroll all the way down right here where it says GCSL. Right under it should be textured solid, and then you click that. There you go. And that's all the texture things that you, well, yeah, that's how you import a bus. I hope this helped you out I hope this helped you guys out when it comes to importing stuff with textures. In the future, there will be more stuff on how to smoothen stuff and stuff like that. But right now, we're just starting it off easy. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.